Jak and Daxter is not a series I grew up with, it's one I played recently, and so I was pretty excited to play these games I'd heard about for so long. To say I had a mixed experience from game to game is an understatement. But for this video, we're going to focus on the platinum trophies and rank them from easiest to hardest. But first, ground rules. First, normally I like to look at these as though you would do anything to get the platinum. For these though, I can't really do that, as half of them have a really easy to access debug menu. Now with this you can basically do anything, including giving yourself collectibles, making you fly, making yourself invincible, which just negates any challenge, and so it makes those games would be the easiest regardless of anything else. For ranking purposes, that's really boring, so I'm just going to ignore the debug mode. I wouldn't feel bad about using it for extras, but come on, play the actual main game normally at least. I will however quickly rank them taking the debug mode into account after the main ranking is over. One more thing, this is just a bit of fun. If you have a different ranking or a different opinion to me, that's cool, and I'd love to hear it in the comments. Now let's start off with... Daxter is a short game. I did it in well under 10 hours and honestly probably closer to 5. I'm pretty sure I left the console on at some point as well. Daxter is also a very easy game with only a few areas needing to try more than once for me. When it comes to the platinum trophy, it is also incredibly nice. Not counting all the story ones, which is most of them, what you need to watch out for are the 500 precursor orbs. Now this is still extremely generous, as there's 1,000 total in the game, so only needing half is completely doable without really needing to search. These also play a part in the minigames, as you need to play all the minigames, but the unlock requirements for the last one is 500 precursor orbs, so there's another reason to get them. You also need to get the gold medal in any one minigame, they're all easy enough, basically just quick time events, very simple. The only other thing you need to do is collect one hidden mask. From research I did beforehand, there's 6 in the game and any of them will do, you only need to get one. Personally, I got the one at the prison at the end of the game, but it doesn't matter which one, get whichever one you want. There are a few other miscellaneous trophies, but to be honest, if you're using all your weapons, you're almost guaranteed to get them naturally in a main playthrough. And there's also bug combat mode on the title screen, which I just spammed through, you don't even need to win, you just need to play around. Daxter's plat is very forgiving. They could have easily made you get all the orbs and masks, but they didn't, and I thank them for that. Jak 1 is a treat of a game. Talk about starting your series up on a high. Maybe it's the fact that I hadn't played many collectathon type games before this, but Jak 1 made me realise I may have been missing out on not playing this series. Jak 2 would then make me go on and make me want to curse the founding of Naughty Dog, but we'll get to that. For Jak 1's platinum, as will be a theme, most are for just doing the story. The few remaining ones are basically for getting all the collectibles, which is fairly easy in this game. Sure, there are some that may be harder to find, but the game is pretty clear about showing you where the missing collectibles are, at least area-wise. I don't personally remember even needing to Google search anything or getting stuck at any point. It was very straightforward. I don't have a lot more to say on this one. Jak 1 is a really fun game with a pretty easy and fun plat. I would definitely recommend. Lost Frontier is maybe the worst game in my opinion. Didn't mind the normal Jak gameplay that much, but the plane gameplay was just so dull, and Dark Daxter should never have even been conceived. Unlike the other games, this platinum has quite a number of missable trophies and only a few story related trophies. Now, full disclosure here, I did use a guide just so I wouldn't miss things and have to replay the game again. The game doesn't ever make it clear when you're going to lose access to things, so that is annoying. If you do the side stuff as soon as it becomes available, you're likely to get everything no problem, but there are a few score related ones that you might miss if you aren't aware and paying attention. The game is fairly short, similar in length to Daxter I would say, so even if you do miss something, it's not the end of the world, it won't take that long to get back to it. I'll quickly mention the orbs. This game is the most generous with the orbs. You only need to get 100 total out of 281. I got most of these from side missions and minigames and didn't worry about searching for them at any point. In fact, it was so easy, I almost forgot to mention them in the script. The main reason this game is higher than the others is due to the missables being potentially annoying more than the game being hard on its own right. If you've ever missed something in any game and had to replay for one trophy, you know that pain. I'm here with you. This is obviously the third game in the main trilogy and the second game that's any good. Now when it comes to platinuming, other than the story ones, which is most of them, there's trophies for getting a certain number of metalhead gems and precursor orbs. First, I found the story is a lot easier than Jak 2, like a lot easier, and outside of a dumb Pac-Man style mission, I didn't struggle much with anything. Not saying I first tried everything, but I wasn't there for hours. It was like second or third try at most. Now, metalhead gems aren't that much of an issue in the game, but precursor orbs are all around the map and also for completing challenges. There is an infinite orb glitch, but from what I can tell, you can only do it in debug mode now, so we're ignoring that. Damn developers patching things, making us play the game normally. I'll be upfront and say I did not do all of the Jak 3 challenges. I did get a decent amount of precursor orbs from the map and the challenges, but I did debug the about half that was left. These challenges were pretty manageable for the most part, might have took a few tries, but I wasn't tearing my hair out or anything, which is good. Possible I missed some hard ones, but from my research, people seem to agree that the challenges are a lot easier overall than Jak 2, that yes, we will still get to. You know, it's a bold choice to make a racing game for a franchise that has driving mechanics that can best be described as sometimes functional. I'm kidding, of course, it's workable, but this game, Jak X, is all driving, and for whatever reason, it is slippy as all hell. Don't have a better way to describe it other than slippy. Anyway, when it comes to the platinum, you can basically divide the list into 3. First place everything in the story, buy everything, and miscellaneous tasks. I guess we'll do the order I did it in. First placing everything in the story is by far the bit that takes the longest, and there's some really hard missions in here which I will get to. I will say though, I didn't struggle at all for the first 3 cups. Never upgraded my cars at all as I was saving money. The second you get into the 4th cup though, the difficulty shoots right up exponentially. This was where I was forced to upgrade my cars, as the first race I'm pretty sure is impossible or at least very difficult to get first place without upgrading. From what I read online, this race is pretty infamous, but would you believe me if I said this wasn't actually the hardest one for me? No, once I upgraded my cars, I actually did the race first try. The actual hardest was this race in the sewers. You see, as I said, I upgraded my car to be faster. Problem with this is that the car becomes basically impossible to control at high speeds and will constantly spin out and launch into the air and turn around, and I am not taking the blame for this one, I am sorry. The whole last stretch really soured me on this game, but eventually I did first place everything. After that I bought everything. This wasn't difficult, I had about 500k left over, and copied the save over to the other slots to buy everything for the trophies without excessive grinding. Now I got worried, you see. I had 2 trophies left, get 4 kills in a circuit race without dying, and in capture mode get 5 captures before enemy gets 1. Problem is, I'd already done this, and the trophies hadn't popped. Oh boy, I hope they're not glitched. I got the circuit race one using the custom settings in exhibition mode and just used the nuke, and it worked. Pretty weird it didn't work before, but 1 trophy left, we're just going to keep rolling. I got it after a few tries, and now I have no idea why they didn't pop before. My working theory is it's because I restarted from the mission instead of going back to the menu, and when I ended up getting it, I made sure to go straight from the menu to the thing, and if I failed I went back to the menu. That's what I think, not sure if it's 100% correct. Jak X's hard missions and pretty wonky physics make it the second hardest Jak game to plat, and then you factor in the potentially buggy trophies, not a fun time. I don't know if I've ever played a more frustrating game than Jak 2. I'm not saying the whole game is bad, it's just when the game wants you to suffer, you just have to kinda take it. Platinum wise, it's mostly just the story with a few collectibles much like Jak 3. The metalhead gems are easily farmable if you somehow don't have them all by the end of the story, which I did, so you probably won't be many off even if you are. Now the other collectible is precursor orbs, which can be gotten in a variety of ways, from just being hidden around the map to challenges you need to complete, again, just like Jak 3. Now I said earlier I'm not taking the debug menu into account for the ranking, but I'll be upfront once again and say that I used it for pretty much all the precursor orbs, but I beat the game normally. The reason I used it for the orbs is I just didn't want to play this game anymore. I hate this game, man. I did try some of the challenges and got frustrated. In fact, I'm pretty sure some of the challenges is what caused me to rage quit Jak 2 6 years ago. So yeah, Jak 2 actually got to the #1 spot, mainly just from the difficulty of the story alone, but looking up more about the challenges, some of the racing time trials are apparently insane, and considering how bad the vehicle handling is in this game as a whole, I'm just glad I didn't do it. Fun story, as I mentioned earlier, Jak 2 is the only game I can ever recall rage quitting. I didn't touch it for 6 whole years. That should tell you everything you need to know about Jak 2. But I'll give you some more. It has insane difficulty spikes, little aim assist, no strafing, bad vehicle controls, too many enemies, atrocious checkpoints, and all of these contribute to making the platinum hard and the game considerably harder than the rest of the series, even Jak X with its wonky physics. And it's one of my least favourite games ever, and you could not pay me enough to play it again. Please don't. And that's all of them. Did you agree, or would you have swapped them around a bit? Was I too harsh on Jak 2? No, I wasn't. The answer is no, I was not too harsh on Jak 2. Quick ranking with the debug menu taken into account. Number 6, Jak 2. You can do it within 5 minutes, making the hardest game normally the quickest with debug mode. Number 5, Jak 3. Can be done quick, but you need to gather 300 orbs manually, which can take an hour or two. But you can use debug mode to collect the same one over and over again, but you have to do it manually. Number 4, Jak 1. Most collectibles can't be added with debug, so you still need to go through the whole game anyway. Plus, you can screw yourself out of some apparently if you add power cells. You can give yourself invincibility though. The rest of the games don't have debug mode from what I can tell, so number 3 Daxter, number 2 Lost Frontier, and number 1 Jak X. Congratulations. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, press like on it and subscribe while you're there so you never miss a video and you can watch my older ones. I did this same video but for Ratchet and Clank among other games. For now though, I'm off, hunt them tropes, and I'll see you next time.